Hey, this is Wednesday, September 23rd, 2020, Hump Day. Yeah. I guess it's Hump Day for some people. In any case, we're going to talk about how Trump believes the voting results are going to go to the Supreme Court and why I think that's an issue. We'll talk about how the CDC director believes that a great portion of our population is very susceptible to COVID. We'll discuss the Breonna Taylor results, I suppose we can say. And I'll discuss one of my favorite Indigenous movies. So make sure that you hit the subscribe button, and let's go. So Donald Trump states that he expects the election results to end up at the Supreme Court. This is a left 31%, center 19%, and right 50%. We're going to go center. And that's going to be NPR. So President Trump on Wednesday defended his decision to seek the appointment of a Supreme Court justice in the short time before the November 3rd election, saying that he expects this year's election results to end up before the High Court. I think this election will end up in the Supreme Court, and I think it's very important we have 9 justices, Trump said. He thinks it's better if you go before the election because he thinks it's a scam that the Democrats are pulling. It's a scam. The scam will be before the United States Supreme Court, Trump said, alluding to his unsubstantiated arguments about fraudulent mail-in ballots, as well as his unsubstantiated arguments about just about anything to do with the Democrats, right? Trump's comments came a day after Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell rounded up the votes needed to advance Trump's nominee, who is expected to be named on Saturday. They have already decided that they are going to approve this individual sight unseen. They don't even know who it is yet, and they've already decided that they're going to confirm it. Lindsey Graham's even stated it. It doesn't make any sense unless you're just looking at it from a corrupt standpoint, okay? I don't know what else to tell you. You can't vet somebody that hasn't already been vetted. I don't know what to tell you. This doesn't make any sense to me. The president has suggested that he might not accept the election results if he is not declared the winner. Trump had previously suggested the same in 2016, cited then that he predicted the election would be rigged. And he was right, as we've seen in the bipartisan Senate report on Russian interference. He eventually captured the White House despite losing the popular vote by some 3 million ballots. In the end, what this really bothers me about is the fact that he's clearly stating that he knows that this case is going to go before the Supreme Court. And while stating this, he's pushing to get his own nominee put in there right away, sight unseen. How is that not some type of corruption? How are people still banging his drum when he's clearly fixing it right in front of you? I do not get it. And I don't understand it, how we can open the gates up to this kind of corruption and be okay. CDC director says more than 90% of Americans remain susceptible to the coronavirus. This is a left 67%, center 25%, and right 8%. It's going to be obvious once we're watching it why the right doesn't really care to cover this particular story.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. CDC is in the process of a very large sequential study across the entire United States measuring serology. As I mentioned, the preliminary results on the first round show that a majority of our nation, more than 90% of the population, remains susceptible. It varies in different geographic parts, from states that have less than 1% with evidence of previous infections, to some that have more than 15, 20, and one as high as 24%. We'll have that finalized and probably published in the next week or so, but it does show that a majority of Americans are still susceptible to this virus.
So one of the things that I believe that he's stating is herd immunity is not an actual factor. And one of the reasons is because they're talking about how this virus has mutated over time, as viruses are wont to do. We have different strains of Ebola because it evolved. Ebola Zaire, Ebola Reston, Ebola Sudan, etc. That's a topic that I enjoy to research in any case. So what he's trying to say is we need to be more careful and not lackadaisical when we think that we've already had this virus, so we can't get it again. We need to move away from herd mentality because the herd immunity isn't quite a factor. So by the time this video comes out, most of you will have already known that the grand jury indicted one officer in the Breonna Taylor killing. I could leave this out, but it is such an important part of our current climate that I want to include it. I've had so many discussions about the whole Breonna Taylor issue, how one individual felt like her and her boyfriend were criminals, and how I went in and proved that they've never been indicted for anything, okay? So here we are.
Of Commonwealth of Kentucky versus Brett Hankison. The Jefferson County Grand Jury charges as follows. Count 1, wanton endangerment in the first degree. On or about March 13th, 2020 in Jefferson County, Kentucky, the above-named defendant, Brett Hankison, committed the offense of wanton endangerment in the first degree when, under circumstances manifesting extreme indifference to human life, he wantonly shot a gun, into the apartment occupied by initials CE. Count 2, wanton endangerment in the first degree. On or about March 13th, 2020, in Jefferson County, Kentucky, the above-named defendant, Brett Hankison, committed the offense of wanton endangerment in the first degree when, under circumstances manifesting extreme indifference to human life, he wantonly shot a gun into the apartment occupied by initials CN. Count 3, wanton endangerment in the first degree. On or about March 13th, 2020, in Jefferson County, Kentucky, the above-named defendant, Brett Hankison, committed the offense of wanton endangerment in the first degree when, under circumstances manifesting extreme indifference to human life, he wantonly shot a gun into an apartment occupied by initials ZF against the peace and dignity of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Mr. Foreperson, is that the decision of the grand jury? Thank you. Sir, if you would please randomly select a number. Division 13. Thank you, sir. The case will then be assigned to Jefferson Circuit Court, Division 13. Madam Assistant Attorney General, do you have a motion with respect to bond?
Yes, Your Honor. The Assistant Attorney General asks for $15,000 full cash bond for the defendant, Brett Hankison.
I will grant the motion and assign bond in the amount of $15,000 full cash.
So these are the only indictments that have happened. Everybody else got off. Wanton endangerment. So they unload 2 clips through this door, killing Breonna Taylor. Her family got millions in a wrongful death suit, but that does not bring her back. We need to understand that this judge is doing her job. We need to understand that unfortunately things aren't going to turn out the way that we need them to until we make sure that we are working towards a more just and more equitable society. Violence, looting, and destruction is not going to solve anything. We need to get these people at the table and discuss where we move on from here. they did agree during the whole settlement that they were going to look at their justice system and make much needed changes. Unfortunately, that does not bring back Breonna Taylor. May she rest in peace, and I'm sorry that there wasn't a better resolution to this particular case. One of my favorite movies of all times is Smoke Signals. It's a cultural icon, in my opinion. It stars a bevy of Indigenous actors that aren't just in Indigenous movies, but are also in mainstream, like Adam Beach, who's been in Wind Talkers with Nicolas Cage. He had a part in Suicide Squad. You have Tantu Cardinal, who's been in so many things. Dances with Wolves. Irene Bedard is the voice of Disney's Pocahontas. Gary Farmer's been in so many different things. In any case, this movie means a lot, in my opinion, to my growth from when I was 18 and on. That's going to date me here once you guys see when it was made. Also, I'd like to point out that this is based off of a series of short stories by author Sherman Alexie. Sherman Alexie also wrote a book called Indian Killer, which is one that I'm going to discuss in a future video. I love that book. In any case, let's enjoy the trailer.
Good morning, this is Randy Pione on K-Res Radio. It's a good day to be Indigenous. And let's go to Lester Falls Apart at the K-Res traffic ban, broken down at the crossroads since 1972. Ain't no traffic, really.
Watch where you're going! Jeez! Hey, Victor, you need a ride?
Yeah.
What are you gonna trade for it? We're Indians, remember? We barter.
Thomas, you gotta look like a warrior. First of all, quit grinning like an idiot. Indians ain't supposed to smile like that. Get stoic.
I believe
You
this.
gotta look like you just came back
When I was
from killing
younger.
a buffalo.
But our tribe never hunted buffalo. We were fishermen.
This ain't dances with salmon, you know.
When Victor's father walked out 10 years ago, he left behind a burning secret that consumed his family. Now, Victor is about to leave the reservation for the first time.
You guys got your passports?
But it's the United States.
That's as foreign as it gets.
On a search for the ways of his tribe.
Thomas! I'm going for help!
The importance of family. And the truth about his father.
I know how it started.
Nobody knows how it started.
You have to remember one thing, Victor. He went back for you.
Smoke Signals.
You guys are heroes, you know? It's like you're the Lone Ranger in Tonto.
It's more like we're Tonto and Tonto.
Anyway, that's my type of humor, if you can't tell, if you haven't already seen from my videos. So I really suggest that you take a look at this movie. I'm sure it's streaming somewhere, and if it's not, it's worth a rent, okay? It to me is a good movie, and it explains some of the perspectives that I bring to the channel. The fact of the matter is that if you enjoy it as much as I do, please leave me a comment when you watch it. I'd love to talk about this movie. You'll hear jokes like, I think I'll leave that out. Let's talk about that later on in a future video once we've gone and watched the movie. So thank you for joining me. If there's anything that you want to discuss, please leave it in a comment down below. I am very interactive if you discuss things with me. Visit me on Twitter. I'm at WIKWEKO. I'm more than happy to talk about the things that we go over in these videos. If you happen to watch Smoke Signals, please talk to me about it. We will discuss other Indigenous movies, books, music, maybe I'll get lucky and have an interview with somebody that is an Indigenous artist. I am always trying for that. You never know until we try. In any case, please remember to subscribe. That helps to push us forward. And if you like what I'm doing, share it with others. Lepichkanawe. I'll see you again.